about the promotion race, shall we? Because, again, Town obviously with this win moved briefly back up into second. Leicester weren't playing this weekend, so Town only a point behind Leicester. And then obviously Leeds did the business yesterday, and now they're top of the table, which is the first time I think since September that Leicester haven't been top of the table. Southampton have still got 2 games in hand. If they win both of those, they're only a couple more points further back. This is shaping up to be a furious finish, AJ. Now, at this point, I want to give you your flowers and say your call on Leicester, given that you made it, I think at the time Leicester were 12 points clear, and I implied that you were inebriated when you said that they weren't going to win the league. They might not even finish in the top 2. they might end up in the playoffs. I mean, we talk about promotion, and we've much of this season we talk about whether Town can get into the top 2. Can they get into the automatic promotion spots? They're in a bloody title race.
Yeah, they are, absolutely. Touching on the Leicester thing, there were 2 reasons behind the thinking at the time. One, I'd never really been too convinced by their performances. Often they just put in one way, you just think, wow, they're miles clear, but actually having that level consistently, it just felt a little bit like they were coasting and cruising through, and there wasn't that much about them, to be perfectly honest. And people understandably would just look at the results and occasionally the stats, and they speak for themselves, and it's hard to argue with those. But when you dig a little bit deeper, I've never truly been 100% convinced by them. And the other bit as well, you look at Leeds flowing, no real off-field issues. Southampton same, Ipswich off-field the best position that they've been in. Well, I mean, you tell me, it's been a long time, but Leicester now are at the other end of that cycle. You've got points deductions looming over them. You've got a manager who's doing an unbelievable job, let's be honest, even with the squad that he's got. And he's got fans saying the football's boring.
Yeah.
Which is just baffling to me, but fair enough. They know that if they go up in the summer, they've got a points deduction hanging over them in the Premier League. They're going to have to make massive sales if they want to avoid that points deduction, which is a big blow. There's a lack of security there. They had the whole issue with Stefano Sensi in January, the player they really wanted to bring in and couldn't do it. I think, again, to do with the kind of limitations on bringing players in that they've had. And it just feels like there's a lot of negativity going around there. You've got 3 clubs, Southampton maybe to a lesser extent, but the other 3 clubs, Ipswich and Leeds, those 3, you all in all have a lot of positivity going around them going into this final run. Leeds in particular, Ipswich now as well, and that means a lot when you need everyone and everything behind you in a promotion race. And you look at the games they have coming up as well for Leicester. They've still got to play Norwich. They've still got to play West Brom. They've still got to play Southampton. They've still got to play a Preston side that could be within a shout of the playoffs going to Deepdale. There's a lot of tricky tests coming up there. And their current form, you don't look at that and feel too wonderful about it in terms of having lost at home to Middlesbrough, lost away at Leeds, beaten by QPR, held by Hull in a game where they trailed twice. Again, putting your neck on the line, I don't think that necessarily Ipswich are trying to chase down Leeds. When you look at what Leeds are doing, I really do think they're trying to chase down Leicester, and I think that they would be the most likely now to fall out of the top 2, given what Leeds are doing, what they did even yesterday, maybe not being at their best. So sets up for an almighty title race, an almighty promotion race. I mean, I've kind of discounted Southampton here, which is harsh, because if they hypothetically win their 2 games in hand and, God forbid, were to beat Town, they'd then leapfrog Ipswich. So it's all really there to play for. And, well, most of us didn't expect that. Even I had my doubts kind of recently as kind of December, January time that was going to be the case.
Football. Biggest game since the last game. Rossi, have you got any thoughts on the promotion race? I mean, clearly Town are the outsiders. They're the little team that could in this scenario. But in that, there's less pressure on them, certainly, than any of the other 3. And I think, look at Leicester, there's a huge amount of pressure on Leicester in this race. Well, how are you feeling about things now after a 6-0 win? Things are looking pretty rosy.
Yeah, obviously the intro, I said back in the top 2 and now 3rd again.
Well, yeah.
It doesn't matter. But yeah, I'm just enjoying the ride. 8 big games to go, 8 cup finals.
Hey.
Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, have to do it. Obviously the international break now, so time to recover, relax, and get ready for that big run-in. But now, just understand what a season. You know, if it finishes now, what? None of us expected this. No one did. Every time I go outside the stadium and chat with a KOA Army and just any town fans, they just look at me and go, "What is going on? What is going on?" And they're just loving it, just beaming with smiles. They're just enjoying it. Obviously, it's the golden ticket. The Norwich City tickets were on sale to the, I think, 30+ membership. I've got a few messages from a few mates, and they're able to get some tickets. I've got it. That is another golden ticket that away, and it's going to be amazing. But yeah, to get a ticket these days, you're lucky. But yeah, just it's heating up, and yeah, it's gonna be fun, boys. These 8 games, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, Portman Road's definitely the place to be.